That's what I needed. So I'm going to try and keep this short, but as you can tell by the timeline down below, I doubt that happened. I want to talk about how I've made my, here it comes, modular usable. And this is very much catered to the way I produce music. So before you start, lighten up the comments. This is how let me backtrack a little bit. I make house music, techno, stuff like that. There's pretty much, I stick to Western scales. When using the modular, I found this love for it of having randomized sequences and randomized pitch and kind of letting it tell me what it wanted to do and me kind of just going along for the ride. But there was always that like one sour note that was always a pain to fix, especially when dealing with randomized pitch sequencers. Kind of like this one, it gets a bit of a pain to use, but the way it randomizes things is incredible. So I kind of went on a search and found a couple different things, and I came across scales, of course, because I want to stick with scales. And this completely changed the way I use this modular and completely, honestly, like gave me hope again in the modular world, because I got this case and I was using it and it was awesome, and I was mainly doing drum stuff because that wasn't too pitch oriented. But when I got scales, I was like, oh, this is awesome. So let's kind of talk about that and a couple other modules that I think are absolutely crucial to the way I use this thing. So I know it seems so simple and so dumb of course, yeah, just get a quantizer. But for the years I've been doing the modular stuff, it was one of those like, I'm just buying a ladder. I need it, but it's not fun. This one surprisingly has a ton of stuff, and no, Intellijel did not send me this or anything like that. Yeah, I'm homies with them because they gave me this case and a couple other things, like let me check out the bifold, but I went out of my way to buy this thing on my own at the local shop here, and it's awesome. Everything I could have wanted. I was looking at the Erica Synths Quantizer, but it was a little too divey and it wasn't as flexible as this one. Then I have some good friends of mine that use the Sinfonion or the synth, and the thing is massive. It's as big as this case. So this kind of hit the perfect ballpark. I still think it's a little too big because it does so much that I don't need it to do, but it does exactly what I need it to do, and it does it very well. So let me just, for argument's sake, show you how easy this is for making something cool. And I just set that bar really high for myself. So come on, modular system, do something cool. So all I'm gonna do, I have a couple loops here on the black box from just music I've been working on off of the MPCs, and I got a couple loops on there chopped off of a splice, as I always do, and I kind of just named them G minor, D minor, C minor because they're typical scales that I would be making tracks on, and I just kind of wanted those as just for demonstration purposes. That this probably won't be the exact song I'm gonna make, but it just kind of helps get the idea across. So all I'm doing right now, track A of this steppy is going to be moving the pitch sequencer forward. So the pitch is going to go into scales. Very simple. And then from scales, that's going to go pitch out into the pitch of the surface. And all scales is going to do, like let's say we're playing in G minor, I can just set this to a G minor scale, and now any notes that come out of this, which are randomized, the mimetic digitalis, will be set into this scale. That's where this is amazing. And it's really cool because once you know what, I'm just going to stop talking. I'm going to set this up. So trigger out, boom, boom. Then we got another trigger here, and that's just going to move or pluck the surface. So let me see where we are at right now. Jeez, okay. Headphones are too loud, as always. Okay. Sounds pretty horrendous, right? So what's cool about the mimetic, if you hit load in zero shred, you can randomize within 2 octaves. Not bad. Turn this decay down a little bit. Let me just launch one of these drum loops. Very annoying. So what's happening right now with the mimetic is that it's going through all 16 pitches, which I personally don't like. Sometimes instead of going into N, I'll go into X. And this allows it to just move across one section. So now I just want to kind of randomize this a little bit. I'll normally do 8 steps, That's kind of fine. And then I'll also use B to reset the mimetic. And sometimes I'll do this like rhythmically. So we can say, all right, let me find a better tone. Okay, sure. So we are in G minor right now. Let's see what happens if I launch my G minor. See, it just like fits. What's crazy is I can then randomize this. I don't like this note. And I don't like that note either. Just take it out. So check this out. This is also cool about the Steppy. Another module that is absolutely crucial to my setup is the Lapsus Os. Not only because it's just an awesome attenuator, but it's also just like adds voltage to things. So if I were to plug this into shift, let me go ahead and lower the filter on this really quick. I can shift up, not just by octaves, but actually semitones within the scale. That's pretty tight. And the reason the Lapsus is so awesome is because it has a lot of good, well, actually it doesn't have any cross modulation, but if you were to apply cross modulation with it, it's really good. So for example, X, this is going to be an additive amount to this. So I'll just take the out of this third channel here, but what I'm going to plug into that third channel is actually one of the channels from the oct. So now it just acts as an attenuator. If I don't want it to be that crazy, just dial this back. Or if we were to go into the plus, maybe on one of the slower channels. And see how it's kind of moving around the pitch? Let me try this. I've actually never tried this. You can put a trigger, oh, that's too small. You can put a trigger into scales, and this is going to basically only change pitch when it receives a trigger. Oh yeah, that completely smoothed out the shifting. Wow, I did not know that worked for the shift. Tight, right? So simple. So simple. Maybe I don't like any of these notes. Turn the voices up. Get a little bit of swing in here. I mean, honestly, like, that's kind of it. I was so excited about scales being so easy to do whatever, whenever, so simple, and it's just so simple. And I think quantizers are so important. I personally really like the scales a lot because of what it can do. Other modules that are absolutely crucial to me is this Lapsus Os, because like I said, it's an attenuator, so I can take really wild sounds. Like let's try something else. Let's go D minor. So that's da da da, and then da da da. I think that's D minor. I hope that's D minor. But what's great, we can just take out notes that don't work. So again, shred it up. We'll play this D minor chord here and this. said we only wanted to play. I don't like that note. I don't like that note. And again, the shift. There's more oct in there. Find new models. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Listen to that. What's crazy? Watch. Save. Now let's shred it again. Done. I'm done. This is so simple. And check this out. You want to get really tight? We'll take C, which is this track here. And we won't have anything yet, but we'll use C's trigger to move on the y-axis of this randomization. So this is one part of the song, right? And then if I were to go and divide this clock, let's say by this much. Actually, let me reset this. Ah, that's a weird division. Let's try this one. I always forget the amounts of them. Okay, this will work. This is work. So watch, if I put a trigger here, and then C moves the Y. Oh, right, but we have B doing the resets. So now, every time C hits, it moves down another 4 notes. And if we were to launch this again, play some new drums. Throw some shift in there. Oh! Oh! Damn, the deep, dude, I ain't doing nothing right now. This whole little setup here has completely changed the way I do this stuff. What I think is really important for me is oct. Oct is so crucial at adding this like organic movement because the LFOs are kind of randomized. And then on top of that, using Steppy and the mimetic digitalis together. If this was one module, like Intellijel, noise engineering, put these together, bigger buttons or something, it would be amazing. But I honestly don't mind this form factor here, or if I were to even use this in the 3U version next to this, I think it'd be totally just the same. These two together is so much fun because you can use the 4 channels to freak out the axis here and even just jump around CV wise. And then after that, of course, the Lapsus Os as its attenuator and just having quick control over my sound right here on the edge of my modular. Sometimes I would even flip this so I have the faders completely unobscured by cables. So you just have quick access to whatever, if you're to run this to your filter or your envelope decay amount or anything like that. And then of course, scales. Scales, oh man, scales is awesome. I absolutely love scales. It's just so much fun. I mean, like, this is just so cool. Make a bass line out of this, right? And then if I wanted to attenuate some more stuff, I would say let's take another channel out of oct and I'll go into the Lapsus only to tame it because this LFO goes 0 to maximum. It's just like full blast. So then if I wanted to, let's say, do the strike. Oh, I guess that didn't do much. Oh, it does a little. Let's do tone. That kind of works. Let's change the model up on that. That's cool. Actually, let's send this to the model. Shift it down again. So see how it's just going crazy? I can go and kind of fine tune this, but then I can do additive of where this little bit of movement is happening by using the second channel now as output, with nothing plugged into its X or plus, and add voltage to this signal. And just kind of find a new little sweet spot. Let's go into dark mode. And again, save this, and then we can shred it again. Awesome, absolutely awesome. Honestly, there's not much more to it than that. These modules have been absolutely instrumental, pun intended, in the way I use my modular system. I've had this thing for a minute and I use it a lot, but I was never doing what I wanted it to do, which was get a complex voice or sort of wavetable or synthesized modeling voice and apply it in a musical manner that I can literally take this to a studio with a musician who knows how to play the keys and be like, yeah, let's play in G major, boop, 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 boop. Boom, I got randomized, cool sounding, modulated, rhythmic elements of a modular system, but usable to my ears. And speaking of ears, in case you haven't noticed, I'm checking out these Meze 99 Classic Walnut Gold headphones. They're awesome. Meze, thank you so much for sending these out. Super light, sound really good. Not a lot of sound bleeds out of them to get picked up into different things. And yeah, I've been wearing them all day. They're super comfy. Got a link to them down below. And yeah, it's really where I wanted to leave it. This sounds awesome. I don't want to touch anything. Thanks for kicking it. I hope to see you again next week. I hope you're doing okay. And yeah, until then, you already know the drill. Share the love, share the knowledge. Knowledge is power. Peace.